Hey everyone, welcome back to another Cosmic Circus review. Today we're going to be talking about Mr. and Mrs. Smith on Prime Video. For those who don't know me, my name is John Dodson. I'm a film critic, entertainment writer. I do a lot of things, but my work can be seen on or at the Cosmic Circus. And I do have a disability, so if you cannot understand me, let me know. My disability affects my speech a little bit, so feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what we could do better. Maybe I could put like subtitles on this, so let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you. The new TV show is an adaptation, like a reimagining of the 2005 film, which was directed by Doug Liman. The studio basically asked the question, what if we took the two hottest people on the planet and made them shoot it, made them try to kill each other for like 2 hours? Which, I mean, honestly, that sounds like a fun idea in practice. And at the time, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie were like, I mean, they were the hottest thing besides, I think, Ben Affleck and Jennifer Lopez. Like, they were the biggest commodity on the planet at that time. It was basically TMZ the movie, right? A celebrity action film. And we don't really get that anymore, thankfully. This is not the movie. They definitely took just the ideas behind Mr. and Mrs. Smith and repurposed it into their own thing in this new TV show. This new version of Mr. and Mrs. Smith stars Donald Glover and Maya Erskine. Also Paul Dano. Paul Dano's in the show. The new series takes the core concepts of the old movie and basically doesn't it's not a vanity project. There's a lot more of a commentary inside of the new take on Mr. and Mrs. Smith. Hold on, it was like, what if two agents got married, but they did not know the other one was an agent? And then as a result, it turns into a game of itchy and scratchy. It's a similar premise, but instead of them both being ignorant about the other being involved with an organization, they both are chosen to get married together and work together as a unit. And they know, the other one knows that they are, in that field. So the mystery of all that is gone. And what it does is it allows for more of a exploration about relationships. And I think it makes for a more interesting story than the old one. And I'll go into details like why. Because by the end of this show, it started out a little bit rough, but by the end, I was completely raptured by what it became and how it all wrapped up. I felt myself not breathing by the time we got to the finale. There's a lot of thematic elements throughout this series about trust and how how it helps marriage, relationships, friendships, I mean, all that stuff. And how if you don't have that, it kind of breaks down, you know? Both of these actors are absolutely perfect for conveying that. Donald Glover, you know, he's a very versatile. He's a very versatile performer. You know, he can make things funny when he needs to, and he could go serious if he needs to. I'm not familiar with Maya Erskine, but I gotta say, I think she's phenomenal in this show. Maya Erskine has a way of showing a lot of depth with very little. And what I mean is, the way that she developed her own performance, there's a lot of nuance behind it. Like, whether she has a troubled past with men, or whether it's her own personality flaws. It's a very layered performance from someone who I'm not familiar with, and I think she's one of the best aspects of this series. The series also brings new ideas to the table, where the old one, you know, Brad Pitt was John and Angelina was Jane, and that was it. Those were the only John and Janes. In this show, there's more than one John and Jane Smith that work for this group. It kind of has fun with that idea about how many people there are out there who work for this organization. And at one point they had dinner with one of the people, another group of John and Janes that are at a higher level than they are. What makes the new show work so well is the fact that they did allow for the characters to know each other. They take the old concept of the movie and put in a lot of a very heavy conversation about relationships that fall apart over time, as stated, like I said before. And what happens is the minute that one of these people, John or Jane, start not saying the truth or show defects or hurt one another, whether by having a fight or the stress of the job, or one person is doing better than the other, the flaws in one another come out. And it all starts from being at the very start when, they have to lie. They have to lie. They have to, because they automatically don't know. They don't have any awareness of who they're with at the start. It's like John and Jane is not even their real name. So how can you trust another person that you're sleeping with every night if you don't know anything about them? And eventually, a dynamic like that is going to build and snowball over time. In a sense, that's kind of like similar to modern relationships. Like when you go and date somebody, you're not really being your true self at the start. You're being a presentation of yourself. And as a good friend of mine said one time, a lot of relationships are built on lies because you're putting up a front at the beginning, and then that front slowly begins to fade away. And the whole thing, the whole show can be summarized in one scene, in one particular scene. And I'm gonna go into mild spoilers. But at the very end, it's not the very end, but it's very close to the finale. They're at the very peak of all the problems in their relationship. And they've just tried to kill each other. Trust is out the window. And Donald Glover gets a truth serum, injects Jane with it, then injects himself. This basically forces them both to be as emotionally raw that they've ever been with each other. And when this happens, you see them just fall in love with each other all over again. And it's so, guys, maybe I'm just like a romantic at heart, but I think it was the most romantic scene that I've watched. I think it's the most romantic scene I've watched in a long time. And it's powerful, it's moving, you can see the emotion flowing through their performances once they become completely free from having a barrier in front of them. They immerse each other in affection. And I think it's beautiful. It's a beautiful moment that is superseded by one of the most crazy cliffhangers in a show, maybe in the last couple of years. I'm not playing when I say this. The ending will take your breath away. I do have one complaint about the show, and that is the fact it does feel rushed at the front. When they first meet each other, they, like, the character that Maya plays, Jane, she strikes me as somebody, at least throughout the series, she struck me as somebody who doesn't fall in love easy or doesn't trust very easily. By episode 2, they look like they took a lot of shortcuts to get to that point that they were extremely affectionate to each other. And I mean affectionate in a way that I just didn't buy that. But even so, the second half of this, like when you get to the second half of the series, that completely vacated my mind. And it became a whole nother beast. Now, all this said, I do love the series. I hope, well, okay, I don't know if I hope. Part of me is like, if they stop it right here, it's a perfect ending. And also, another part of me is like, I kind of want season 2. I kind of want it. I don't know if we're going to get it, but whether or not they continue the show, I think it stands on its own right here. If you have an open mind and you're looking for something different, I think it does a lot of great things. You know, think about it like this. Hannibal, the movie was, I mean, it was all right. Anthony Hopkins is great, but it was all right. Silence of the Lambs is a masterpiece. Red Dragon is underrated. The Hannibal TV show didn't do any of those things from the movies, but it took the core concepts and built a new house out of them. It's very similar to that. So I'd say give it a chance. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. And I deeply loved the finale. And it's going to cause a ruckus in your home when you watch it. I want to thank you for listening to me. And I really hope you enjoyed this review. If you like it, please hit the like button, subscribe. Let me know what you think. If you want more content, if you want me to review something else, I can do that. I want to thank you for taking the time to hear me out. Until then, I'll see you at the circus.